Welcome back to another live. This is RainBNB and Heart for Kids decentralized community building campaign. So karibuni tena. Now today tutaongelea history ya CBEX and we try and do a bit of comparison between CBEX and RainBNB Decentralized Community Building CHAMA. How sio? Alright, so let's get right into it. Now CBEX imeosha wa Kenya. Na si wa Kenya peke yake, even Nigerians. I believe kama uko TikTok, you have seen some of these videos they've created, and it does not look good. It doesn't look good at all because people are really feeling the effect, especially for scams that promise you high yield from your investments. Now remember, hizi investment manze, umeziwakia hard sana kupata hiyo do, alafu unakuja unapeana in the name of getting probably 4 times or 10 times that amount within a very short period of time. Hizi ma get rich quick schemes. Hey, watu wangu. Anyway, CBEX has disappeared with 91 billion Kenya shillings worth of investor funds. Can you imagine? That is about $700 million. Convert into US currency, with about, I think, exchange rate ni 130 to 134, but I did a calculation with an exchange rate of 130. So nili divide your 91 billion by 130 shillings to give me $700 million. Acha hiyo. Sasa kuna individual amepoteza 38M yake kwa hii CBEX tu bado na imeenda hivyo, imekunywa maji hiyo design, just like that. Like, how do you give your money, especially that kind of money, to people you have no idea where they are, where the company even is, whether they're registered or even licensed to operate such a scheme, lakini wewe uko ready kuwa trust na 38 million shillings. Na huyu ni Mkenya naongelea amepoteza 38 million Kenya shillings kwa CBEX. Now a total of 91 billion of investor funds has gone. That's $700 million. How do you think these people are going to recoup hizo pesa? How much do you think each individual has been putting into this thing? Especially, I believe there was a minimum kwanza enye unafaa kulipa ndo uweze kujoin hiyo scheme yao, ndo upate whatever, kama ni double ama 10 times whatever amount you invest. But anyway, my question is, where do people get this money to invest in forex and crypto trading companies? Mnatoa wapi hizi do watu wangu? You know, money is not earned the easy way, especially with such a short time frame ambao wanakuambia, because all they do is take funds from one investor to pay the other investor. Hakunanga shughuli nyingine inaendeleanga hapo. It's that simple. Now mnaonyeshwa people even literally do videos on those scams, and they tell you exactly how they work, but bado I don't know exactly ni juju gani ya tutumia kuwaosha, because I'm sure you go through your social media platforms na mnaonanga hizi mascams, mnaambiwa hadi vile zi operate na vile zitakuja kuwaosha, lakini bado hivyo mnataka kuomoka haraka. Never works like that. Si hata angeprosper ama angejaribu hiyo 38M ailete huku kwa RainBNB, I sponsor easy free accounts na jaribu kufanya, because I'm pushing a very huge campaign to activate more than 1.5 million Africans across the whole continent. Now imagine if I'm doing a free campaign mtu yangu, what does that mean for the platform? Yeah, so you need to understand what a scam is, how it works, and how it comes without you noticing, na inapoteanga tu hivyo. Because these things never take more than 3 months. They come with a lot of hype, especially through influencers. Hawa tumezoea kuona online. They live a very flashy lifestyle. They are usually approached by these companies ama hizi ma schemes, especially kama hizi tunaonanga hizi siku hizi za betting companies. We have Mpesa, we have kuna hii sport betting company enye kina naniwa na shinanga wakipromote, kina OG. Who are these other influencers? Kuna hizi ma betting companies pia, odibet and so many others. Those are fine examples of how people are being manipulated and duped. Mnaenda mnatupa tu pesa zenyu in the hopes mtapata returns kubwa. Hiyo ni kuosha watu wangu. Those are scams. Living in broad, as in working in broad daylight. Mnaoshwa lakini hamuoni. Abel Mutua does hizo ma scripts hizo ma short videos yofanya on YouTube. Na anawaambia muavoid hizo ma betting companies. Stop betting. Chorea kubet juu hakuna mtu yu faidi kama siyo kampuni. The house never loses. That's one thing you need to understand. So the person who loses is you. So wewe ndo unaenda unajengea watu lifestyle yao. Alafu yako unarudi mashinani jo, umesota kaa kitu ingine hapo ijaonekana. Now, some of the ways before I even get into that. Juzi, one of the owners were CBEX. So you can even look that video up kwa hizi mascams za CBEX that have been posted on TikTok. So anaingia showroom, amesurroundiwa na mabodyguards. Sawa, anaenda kununua gari mtu yangu. Now, it happens to be that hiyo gari ananunua, which was a Mercedes, it was not specific on the model of the car, but I'm assuming it must be either a GLE ama ni gani ingine inaweza toka between that range. GLE ama hii ingine wagon, G-Wagon. I'm not sure if a G-Wagon would range for that price, but somewhere there. Anyway, guess what? Alilipa hiyo gari kutumia crypto. Na hiyo ni pesa zenyu mtu yangu. CBEX. Yeah, so anyway, I have warned you so many times, time and again, not to give your hard-earned money. Because hizi pesa pia mnapata, whether you have done some sort of deal that is not up straight, or you have sweated for that money, do not quickly run to give it to companies. These companies are centralized. These people are, how do we put it? Compromised. Hawa watu wako compromised sana. So they can easily defraud the company by embezzling those funds. Waipeleke, wanatumia doo zenye wanawapromise wata multiply warudishie maybe 10 times more. Ama wanakwambia ekelea hii doo, alafu ukiekelea si wanakurudishia kiasi fulani yenye walikupromise. So unaona it has worked. Hebu acha nirudishe ingine. Unarudisha ingine tena. Maybe a lump sum now. And inaenda yote. Hakuna kitu hata inabaki. Ama the whole company just disappear. Because it's a website that is linked to, if it's a company that uses a bank account, that is definitely linked to an account somewhere here locally. Because you cannot send those funds to Mpesa. Now, for the essence of, for the sake of CBEX, that means money had to be converted to crypto for it to be traded. Now, once imekuwa converted to crypto, hey, utatrace wapi hiyo do? Huwezi track hiyo pesa. Huwezi jua imeenda kwa wallet ya nani exactly. Now, remember, there were no faces behind this company, only influencers who are used to pump excite the community. Wabuild hiyo hype. Alafu waoshe watu. Kumbuka hao influencers wamelipwa. That's why they're able to live that kind of flash lifestyle. Ama mjaika chini mkajiuliza ni aje wanajisustain hivi. Nijua hizi biza kuosha tu watu wengine. Nothing else. Hakuna kitu inaweza kuomosha haraka hivyo. So, especially if someone claims they can trade for you, whether on forex ama crypto markets, be very careful. That's why at times I usually try and avoid anything to do with forex or crypto trading. There's a time I did content about trading. This one was working because I saw the results. But then again, it has also to have personnel, an actual person there to monitor the trades, because in case the trades go bad, this person can easily stop that trade. So it needs constant monitoring by an actual human being. So hiyo bot pia hazikuangi accurate. Ndio maana pia watu wengine wameoshwa kwa hizi vitu za mabots. Because you pay someone to sell to your bot, anakuuzia. Hiyo bot unaona ni kama inatengeneza do, at some point inaanza kupoteza hiyo ganji. What happens to you now? So unaanza kublame huyo jamaa amekuuzia bot fake because you do not know the parameters of operating that bot. Now, crypto takes time. Hizi vitu si za haraka haraka. Kuna watu watakwambia I can teach you on how to start trading nini. Yes, sure. But then you will require also time to practice. And this takes up to 2 years. Ndo anze kuivisha. In fact, this is 2 years of making losses before you can become profitable. So there's a lot of risk when it comes to these things. But when you start becoming profitable, your life changes. But are you willing to wait for that long? Hapana. Mnakimbilia vitu kama CBEX. Na hapo ndo mnaoshangu. Hizi get rich quick schemes, my friends, mtapoteza sana. So be vigilant because dust is constant. Au sio? Any business or company that requires you to invest an X amount with the promise of high yield ama daily high returns is obviously a scam. So next time be careful and be alert. Especially kuna zingine bado zinaenda kukam. CBEX si ati wameenda kufunga kabisa, wanaenda wana reinvent sasa design ingine, a different website, different of course inaitagwaje, display and all that, as in everything is just going to be different, even the name of the company as well. So you need to be very alert on these things. Do not be quick to jump onto things that you do not even understand yet. Try and study, understand vile kunaendanga before you jump into it. So tuache kuwa greedy, because with this get rich quick schemes, juu ya hiyo lifestyle pressure unaona huyo influencer ako nayo, mtu yangu, it doesn't work like that. Huyo mtu ni mtu amejituma tayari kukuscam. As in, he's purposed already. His life is already made, and his mind is already made up as well. He wants to scam you and live that life you're dreaming of. How so? So instead, invest in a community-based growth. Invest in decentralization. When you're involving your investment or anything to up and above 1,000 shillings kuendelea, be very careful of those companies. Juu hata hizi makampuni mnaonanga huku nje ziuanguka, they go down, they go under, they become bankrupt, they sell their assets, or they are taken over by another company or absorbed, or what they call in business term merged. So companies fail every day, new ones start every day, so you have to be very keen on where you're going to. So why should you invest in a people-based community growth decentralization? One, because it is cheap. Now, specifically, I'm talking about RainBNB. It is a community building initiative where people are coming to build people. So, it is a peer-to-peer based initiative. Hapa hivi si kampuni unatuma pesa yako. You're dealing with individuals one by one. Sawa, a community of people like you and me. So this is no company or central institution that is collecting funds from people in order to distribute to others. Apana. Like I said, anything that is centralized, people are compromised. It brings a lot of fraud and mismanagement of people's funds. Si pesa yao yenyu wanatumia kumismanage. Juu kama hii ya CBEX, what do you think has happened? Of course, they paid the first investors pia. People who were there to raise alarm about the company, to show people that it's actually paying so that they can pull other crowds. But then after a while, inazama na pesa yao tu. So that means you cannot access your own money. Imagine. But sasa you're being given something where it is decentralized and only you and you alone have full control of it. Huwezi compare kitu ingine, au sio? Yeah, so the other aspect is this decentralization, which I've talked about. So no central control, no company. There's freedom. That means you have full control of all your assets. And you can have your assets in multiple wallets without using the bank. Now, you choose to do what you want with your money at any given time. Si kama ile unaweza kuwa na do yako kwa bank, alafu unakuta ni aje ati bank ina kulimit the amount of money you can actually withdraw for your own personal use. Isn't that mediocrity? Now, when people have control of your funds, that means you're powerless. You work with them. Otherwise, you cannot do anything you want. So that brings about limitation. But with decentralization, you have full power and full authority to do as you please. And then finally, we have volatility. One, it is the nature of cryptocurrencies, except stable coins. Stable coins are coins that are pegged to the dollar. That means one, for example, maybe we have an example of a stable coin is USDT. So that means one USDT will be equivalent to $1 because it is tied to it as an asset. So that is why we call it or refer to it as a stable coin. And therefore, its value is never affected. Of course, you will not notice the significant changes in the value because sometimes it may play around between 0.99 USD or USDT to about $1 and some few cents. So that's how it tends to behave. But other than that, other cryptocurrencies are very volatile in nature. And that means today its value could be low. And tomorrow, whatever amount you have accumulated or you have been gifted through RainBNB, probably today is worth $10. Tomorrow it could be worth $50 or $100. Why? Simply because it's not that the amount has increased, but the value is the one that has gone up due to adaptation of that token. Unaona hii community tunaenda tukibuild katika RainBNB, it is growing and getting bigger and also affecting the value of the token being behind it, or the token being used to gift each other. Sawa. Now, when that happens, that means the value of your coin inaenda ikiclimb. So despite the recent bearish trend in the market, we have there's a promising growth that is going to be coming, because every time the godfather of cryptocurrencies takes a dive or a dip, the value usually comes in almost double the amount, or even maybe goes higher than what it was prior. So that is how powerful cryptocurrencies are, especially through this platform. So now let's quickly do a comparison between CBEX and RainBNB and see where people went wrong, or where we went wrong as investors. Sawa. So let us start with the first one. Transparency and trust. Now, CBEX has a lot of scam concerns and many red flags, which were reported by the users. One, delayed withdrawals. Now, these are withdrawals you have to request from the platform's company. Yes, you can access the company, but you're accessing it only through our website. You have no idea where it is, where they're based physically. So, and you have no idea who is the person behind it. Sawa. Now, the economics were also unclear with unrealistic returns. When I tell you, give me 1,000 bob na kurudishia 500, one, you have no idea your don imeenda kufanyia nini nayo. So you cannot be guaranteed that I will actually give you that 5k, especially kama nimekupatia time frame ya 1 day ama 1 week ama 1 month. Okay, maybe 1 month would make a bit more sense, but 1 day, it's very impossible, especially if there's no clear path of where that money is being taken to be invested for it to triple your investment, or to give you 5 times whatever you invested. Another aspect is centralized control. So if only a few individuals manage funds and there's no verifiable smart contract or DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, that's a big concern, a very big one. Because these people, like I said, can easily sweep all those funds from your wallets or from your accounts and transfer them to a different wallet, especially kama ni crypto. One, umeweka hizi do si kwa wallet yenye uko na control of, This is the company website wallet. And that means they have full control of that wallet and they can withdraw at any given time. Or they can put restrictions or limitations on the amount you can withdraw on a daily basis. So when it comes to that, when people are not giving you the freedom to do or move around as you feel like, that is a big concern. That should raise an alarm. Even a red flag mtu yangu. Yeah? Number 2, there's no clear community or team visibility. There was no team of people, the actual people behind that company, for you to tell that, okay, sawa, hata do zetu zikilost, we will hold these people accountable. Apart from influencers. Sasa utafuata influencer kumuitisha do yako? Hapana, yeye si mwenye kampuni. In as much as he was promoting a scam, he's not the owner of the company. So you should not hold him liable. Number 2, did you do your due diligence? Did you find out where is this company centered? Where is the physical address or things like that? Who is the head of that company? Where does he stay? Does he come from? Can he be held accountable? So on and so forth. But you're quick to throw that money. 38 million. I'm still baffled by that amount. How do you give out 38 million shillings of all your savings? Hadi loan iko hapo pia. Si ati hii ni do yake peke yake. Pia loan ametupa hapo. Mtu yangu utarudishaje hiyo do yote? It's crazy. Now, let's compare that to RainBNB Decentralized CHAMA. 1, it is built around community-driven savings group. That's why it's called a CHAMA. And I also reference it to SACCOs because it's the same informal type of savings group. But it's only that now these ones are traditional and RainBNB is a digitized way of doing it. Let's see why. It emphasizes on an on-chain transparency, group control, and shared growth. Group control, shared growth, and on-chain transparency. Hii ni kitu ambayo nini ilikuwa ina lack, CBEX. No transparency. So that means you cannot trust them. RainBNB it focuses on empowering real people and real communities, especially here in Africa. Huku tu mtaani. Hivyo ndo tunadai kubuild initiative yetu, kuempower Afrika wenzetu waache kupoteza do kwa hizi maskamu. Stop giving your money to central authorities. Similar to putting your money in the bank. Because if the country ran into an emergency and it needed money, where do you think watatoa hiyo do? Watatoa hiyo pesa wapi? Si kwa hizo bank accounts zenyu? Ama Mpesa accounts? Yes, of course, hata mimi natumianga Mpesa, sikatai. Lakini I try as much as possible to avoid using a bank account for such instances. Control of your assets. Control over you. Juu mtu akicontrol do yako, si niwe ndo na control? Ama. Yes. So please, tufungue akili na macho. Tuone kitu inaendelea mbele yetu. Because this is a tool ambayo tunaweza tumia kujiliberate from this financial imprisonment, which is centralization. We need to open our eyes, watu wangu. RainBNB is also a low risk model. 1, kumbuka anafanya free activations. Sawa. Now besides that, you at home probably uko sawa kimfuko. So si lazima ungoje free activations zenye nataka kufanya. Because hizi nataka kufanya kuanzia grassroots uko chini watu wangu. Because that's the people I want to uplift and empower financially. So tutaanzia free activations uko chini. Jua pia wako na smartphones, si ati hawana. People have smartphones siku hizi. Hata ukiingia mashinani. People watch TikTok, watu wako Facebook, sijui. It's just powerful how social media can be used to transform Africa. But lakini nayo lazima tushikane. Hii kitu niliwaambia siwezi ifanya peke yangu. I need all your efforts. Mnaweza kuwa mnashare hii live, mna invite my friends. You can also check out my profile, watch the videos, find out what it is we are doing here. Understand kabla uanze kurusha do yako. Au sio? Now once you've understood, Go through those videos, see exactly how those funds move from my wallet to their wallet. Remember, this is free thing, a free initiative I'm doing. Aya, itoke ingie kwa wallet yake, afanye hiyo activation. Hiyo do itoke kwake ingie kwangu tena. Yani, that's the power of play. That's how you play around with money. You have to be smart about it, because if you keep using these traditional means, even though tutaendelea kuosha nguo every freaking day. So we need to get smart about how we use our money, especially when it comes to things like investments. So remember, this is a low risk model. Low risk kumaanisha nini? Start entry yako is only $3. Now, with the recent behavior in the markets, which have been a bit bearish, it has affected the value of BNB, and it has gone a bit down to about $3. Sometimes it can go up to about $4. $4 was in fact the highest it got to, because remember, we are dealing with a specific amount, a constant amount for you to participate. Now, the value of that amount can change. Ndio nilikuwa naelezea kuhusu volatility. For instance, ku participate kwa hii chama yetu ya RainBNB, you require to have 0.0045 BNB. Sawa. Now, 45 is a constant amount. Now, the value of this amount is what keeps changing. Ndio hiyo iko volatile, because hiyo ndo nature ya crypto. So when the market is bearish, value yake itashuka to about $3 to $2.7. When we are bullish, or when the market is bullish, value yake itapanda to about $3-4. It could even get to $5 if Bitcoin keeps climbing, or keeps bulling, or is on the bull run. Now, that is the advantageous aspect of crypto, because with RainBNB, because we are trying to merge these two platforms, blockchain and its characteristic, with this tool RainBNB as a community gifting platform. Kumaanishaje? You know, hii communities unakuja unachanga ama unatoa hiyo contribution yako, that means now unakuwa eligible kuchangiwa pia. So unatumana malinks. Ukianza kuchangiwa hiyo do yako, ukiingia kwa wallet, assuming you want to withdraw it immediately, that's okay. Take it to your Binance exchange, uzia mtu kwa hiyo P2P trading platform, and have it in your Mpesa in less than even 5 minutes. Because kabla huyu mtu atume kutoka either kwa bank yake to your Mpesa, or from his Mpesa to your Mpesa, that may take a bit of time. Because pia you have to look for buyers or sellers who are online. For this instance, buyers, because you're selling. Now, when the markets are bullish, that means besides ile amount maybe utakuwa umeaccumulate, assuming maybe umechangiwa up to maybe BNB worth $100, alafu market ianze kuwa bullish, hiyo asset yako itakuwa worth $100 tena. Now, the market is very volatile in the sense that leo ama sahi hiyo do yako ni worth $100, sawa yenye umechangiwa. In the next hour unakuja unapata hiyo do imekuwa $120. Unajiuliza, hii kwani what's happening here? Kwani nimechangiwa do ingine zaidi? Kumbuka umesha withdraw to an exchange wallet, and as you're withdrawing to that exchange wallet, value ikapanda. Will you say again ati hiyo ni do yenye umechangiwa? Hapana. So that is how powerful RainBNB ikiwa merged na crypto ama blockchain technology. That's how powerful it is, because of the characteristics of these tokens we are using. BNB manze ikipanda value ni hivyo, and the community that is adopting it or behind it is crazy. All right, so let's continue with the comparisons. So we're in the second one now, which is model type. Now, CBEX promises high returns through crypto bonds, staking, or those yield products. Kama ni trading ama nini, they claim to do. Now, these models often attract a get-rich-quick crowd, nyinyi ambao mna fall victim, which can turn scammy fast if there is no real revenue behind it. Ndio nilikuwa nakwambia, if there is no real business they are doing, my friends, hiyo ni wash business, na wewe ndio unakuja kupigwa hiyo wash. Mosho mmoja safi sana utafurahia. So let's compare that to RainBNB. RainBNB is slow, sustainable, but based on community trust and savings. Slow, sustainable, based on community trust and savings. So users are not investing to get rich quick here. Hapana. Hapa nayo lazima tuweke effort. Na effort ni gani hapa? Si ni kuongelesha tu watu na wanakama wanakuchangia. Na ni nini tena? Si ni simple. Bas. So think of this as a decentralized kind of circle or CHAMA but powered by crypto. Nimeelezea how crypto is powerful, especially kimajiwa na RainBNB. Kumbuka huku unachangiwa. Crypto sahi iko bearish. So take advantage of it right now. Because once the markets start becoming bullish, inamaanisha whatever assets you have been gifted, si value pia inaweza panda, either double or triple. That is how powerful crypto is. Hii kitu ikipanda nayo inaweza pump deadly. Alright, so the third comparison is on decentralization and control, which is part of what I also started with. Now, CBEX is a centralized platform that is probably also web-based. But now this one uses Web 2. Web 2, remember, is owned by companies such as Chrome, Mozilla, and many others. If users don't control their funds, get this. If users don't control their funds and the backend is opaque, you have no idea who's controlling that money of yours. Hakuna sura, hakuna physical address. The risk is very, very high. Very high. So, now, what happens now with RainBNB? RainBNB is built for decentralized community ownership. That means you and I own it. It becomes a decentralized autonomous organization. And it cannot work without you and I. So are we seeing the difference here? Tuna understand ama tunaelewa tofauti ya centralization na decentralization. Decentralization means you are part of that. You are part of the ownership. Wewe. Si mtu mwingine. You. Now, this promotes trustless finance. That means no need to trust one person or company. Sawa sawa. So group decisions, transparency, and digital chamas equals to people controlling their wallet and their savings. Sijui paka hapo kaa tumeelewana? Yes, sir. Let's move to the fourth comparison, the social impact. Now, CBEX is an investor-driven, little or no real-world impact, and it collapses. It is built more for profit, individual profit, than for community. Now, when something is not backed by a community, but only for people who are based or who are more focused in chasing their own personal growth, that is doomed to fail. I can guarantee you that for sure. So let's compare the social impact of CBEX to that one of RainBNB. Now, RainBNB is designed for economic empowerment, especially for the unbanked. Now, the unbanked and the underserved population ni akina nani? Ni hao watu wako kwenye grassroots level. People who cannot access or do not understand also how the banking system works, how control works. Those are the unbanked and the underserved populations. And those numbers are big, because if the banks were able to have these numbers of those people who do not even have a bank account yet, because these are not people who are under 18. Hapana, naongelea watu ambao wako 18 and above. Kuna watu huku nje hata bank account hakuna. Why? Simply because, one, they do not trust banks, or number two, they do not know how to even open a bank account, or probably they feel it is not meant for them. Labda ni ya watu wa corporate or people who are employed. Or number 3, have no idea of any other way of storing their assets. Ama kuna wale ambao huficha do zao wapi? Kwa mattress. Hiyo ndo wamezoea. Sawa sawa. Now, with decentralization, it's very much different because we can take this initiative to empower them, through educating them and also building this awareness, in the sense that we educate them to understand how decentralization is more powerful when it comes to ownership compared to centralization, or having your money stored by a central entity, right? So RainBNB helps build a digital financial discipline, not gambling on yielding farming or these high yield investment platforms. All right. So what's the bottom line? CBEX has scam signals, a lot of scam signals. So under those scam signals ni kama gani? Na ndio hizo nimeshinda niki-explain. What things are you supposed to look at to show you that this is a red flag? 1, centralization. Number 2, over-promising. Easy high yield. When they tell you invest this in the next 1 hour, get 5 times that amount, ama 10 times. Hizo ni pesa za early investors zinachezewa. Meaning whoever got in early, yes, maybe anaweza benefit, probably ameingiza 50k and akapata return ya 3 times that is about 150. And then he withdraws that amount. Si ameona evidence hiyo do imetoka. But then he feels, si I can get more. Wacha nirudishe. And that is it. Hapo ndo imeenda. And also there's very, very poor transparency. So once you give them your money, forget it completely. It is gone. Vamoose. Without a trace. Utaipata. Because assuming you gave them your money in fiat, wakaenda wakai-convert to crypto ndo wakufungulia account, and then now you can be able to see or track hizo assets zako. Now, the moment these people have your funds, you're locked in. 1, you're limited to what you can withdraw. And number 2, you'll start seeing hizo tendencies za withdrawals kidogo zina misbehave ama ziendi through. And that is when you know you have been washed. So these funds, once they have control over them, si wanaziconvert into crypto. Once ziko in crypto, si wanazituma into their own very different wallets. Hapo utaweza kutrace imeenda kwa jina ama kwa account ya nani? Hapana, huwezi jua. Now, that is also the advantage of crypto. So don't just look at it as having washed people. Hapana, angalia the other side of it. Because once you have received your contributions from RainBNB, haita display hapo ati huyu msee amepata contribution ya $1 million worth ama $10 million worth from the whole community since he started and built a community for himself. It doesn't work like that. Same case with trying to get started with RainBNB or setting up. What happens is you will have to download a wallet. Kwa hii wallet hutaitishwa ati email address yako, majina zako full, physical address or any of that sort of nonsense. Everything is digitized here. The only thing you'll have or you will get from it is the recovery phrases, which now will enable you to recover your wallet from any device, assuming you lose the one you're using to participate in RainBNB. That's all. All right. So let's look at RainBNB. So RainBNB is a community-first decentralized savings model built for real-world impact without any hype. Mine is not a hype I'm doing. It's a campaign. A campaign to do 1.5 million free activations across Mother Africa or the African continent. So this is an initiative I'm pushing towards my fellow Africans. For those who can support it, come through. Send your gifts. Either through TikTok, or I always leave information in the description box of each video I upload in this platform or any other platform of how you can contribute or participate also in this community building platform. So you can send either through the Mpesa Till that is provided there, or you can send through the crypto wallet provided also. But remember, the network is opBNB, so be very keen when sending those cryptos to that wallet. Otherwise, ukitumia network ingine ita lost. Yeah. So therefore, RainBNB is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Instead, it relies on community building. It relies on you and me. All of us. Hauwezi jijenga hapo hivi peke yako. Sawa sawa. So mimi sitakudanganya ati hapo hivi ukiingiza do yako hivi, uende udoze, ukamu utapata imeingia zingine. Here you invite, you join me in building a sustainable community, and we all grow organically. Tuache shortcuts tafadhali. Juu hizi shortcuts ndo zitatumaliza. Zitatudrain hizo do tumewakia sana. Because of course, we want to put in money where we can see returns and real results. Long term. See short term. Because CBEX can give you money today, kesho ifungwe. Na labda ulirudisha do ingine maybe 10 times what you put in. And that could be all your savings umerudisha huko. Alafu iende inyamaze hivyo. Mtu yangu umejirudisha back how many years? Probably you've saved those assets for years and years. Kukuja kuosho hiyo do yote hivyo. For the kama hii case mimi ushinda nikirudia huyu mtu amepoteza 38M kwa CBEX. What were you thinking? Putting all that money, risking everything. Mtu risk kidogo. And then you build hiyo kidogo yenye umerisk. Si kuput in all without even understanding or knowing who the people behind it are. Because you might think the influencers know these people. Hapana, yeye amekuwa contacted. Akapeana maybe wallet address yake ndo asiweze kutrack ama kutrace au jamaa huko ambao anampea hii mboka. Si anapeana wallet address. Akipeana wallet address, si anatumia hizo crypto kuweza kufanya hiyo marketing ama kubuild hiyo hype. Once he does that, then what? Because this person, this influencer is not the owner of that company ama hiyo scam. Or probably they could be colluding or something. So please be very alert. Be very fucking alert. Now, so RainBNB only needs a bit of your time and effort. Hiyo nayo ni lazima. Uspende vitu rahisi ama utaoshwa tena. It's as simple as that. So one thing you need to also understand very, very well. Sometimes you find, okay, not sometimes. People always ask, do you have to refer others? Ni lazima ni refer mtu. Now, let me ask you. Tell me a business out there that does not require a new customer. Niambie biashara moja. Niambie biz haihitaji customer kuthrive. Aren't those referrals? So ukiniuliza hii kitu inahitaji referrals? Of course it freaking does. Bro, hakuna biashara hii dunia haihitaji referrals. Hata yako uende ufungue bizi ya smoky mayai, si unahitaji customer. Kwani huyo customer ni nini? Si ni referral. But now, instead of just profiting yourself, maybe assuming from that smoky mayai business, why don't you, all of you, come into something that benefits both of you? Kitu inawasaidia nyinyi wote, si mtu mmoja peke yake. Juka huyu influencer, hata kama aliekelea do, wewe unadhani alilipa do ngapi? Si unajua lazima, ama labda hiyo do unaona kwa hiyo account anasema ako nayo. It's probably a free account amepewa. Could wase. Can you imagine? Yeah, so back into the all business require new customers. Look at big corporations around the world, starting with Safaricom. Mbona wanaendanga wakipaka maukuta nini rangi zao hizo za green and then they draw their logos there? Why do you think they do that? The likes of Safaricom, Coca-Cola, we have Microsoft, we have Apple, we have Airtel, Standard Bank, hadi mabanks bro. Haya, tuko na EABL. Si mnaona hizo maposta kubwa? kwa billboards. Yeah? We have Unilever. The other day they were promoting walikuwa na nini adverts za corona pia a few years back. We have Tecno, hizi masimu. Tuko na Binance itself, the centralized exchange. By the way, this exchange has to be centralized because it is dealing with local currencies. Yeah, so that is one aspect you need to keep in mind also. Now we also have other companies, private tours, private jets. We have like Jetco. We have trading companies. This is a forex, crypto. We have the likes of eToro, Xness, and many others. So these companies run ads every few hours or less, not just to create a trend for their products or service. Hapana, hiyo si idea behind it. They need to remain relevant to their customers. And why is that? Au semanga, out of sight, out of mind. So if Safaricom does not put itself out there, if Airtel does not put itself out there, so what wataisahau? Like, let me take a fine example of a company that most of us are forgetting of. I think they were absorbed by it. Okay, Telcom. Telcom, how many ads do you often see, Zao? Unless you're in specific areas in Nairobi. Otherwise, Telcom is not very, very popular. And that is how they are losing attention from their customers. So we need to understand how this whole thing works, because watu wangu, if we start running into things bila kuzielewa, especially kama hizi za trading ama where you have to invest your money in a company, si lazima trading, hata za products, be very keen. Juu hapo ndo watu washwa. Imagine for example, there was a company where for you to participate, you have to join in with about, I think, 21 to 25K. And then now you're given a bunch of products, mingi. Now you're told that ukienda uze hizo products, utapata profit yako almost double ile do umeingia nayo. So let me ask you, utauzia watu wangapi hizo products? Yeah, sure, customers wako, lakini mtauzia watu wangapi? Juu imagine umeekelea hiyo do yote. Do you have the power to go around selling to each and every person your product yako? You do not. Why not use an easier tool, almost similar principle, lower risk, which you will never even feel a pinch hata ukapoteza, and you're gaining from a whole community. A whole community, watu wangu. Hapa hivi kumbuka kuna options za zile do unataka kuchangiwa. Ndio hizo tunaita levels. Ziko hadi 15 na kila level unachangiwa do tofauti na kila mtu. Kumbuka, please, I need to you need to take note of this. RainBNB ukiingia, si umetoa hiyo mchango yako, never again will you ever be asked to contribute again. Why? Because now you only need the contribution from your community, ile ambayo unaenda ukiambia watu kama kuchangie. Hiyo tu ndo unatumia kujiingiza kwa hiyo kategori nyingine ili uchangiwe zaidi. Sijui hapo kama tumerada. Yes. That is how powerful and simple this is. Decentralization, watu wangu. Na hiki tu ndo itatupeleka mbali sana. Not just as individuals, but as a community. Because remember, RainBNB thrives on each and every person. Huwezi ingia hapa na expect ati utagrow peke yako, hapana. Juu hivyo unaingia, so utakuwa umechangia mtu. Exactly. Na hivyo utakuwa unaingia kwa hiyo kategori nyingine uchangiwe maybe twice as much. So utakuwa umechangiwa mtu mwingine probably twice that amount. And remember, you are not close to gifting the people who refer. You can easily grow through that community without ever repeating your contributions to the person who referred you. But in some instances, there are repeat contributions that you will do without even knowing. Because once you activate your category ingine, sinido tu ina leave wallet yako, inaingia kwa hiyo wallet ya mtu mwingine. It's as simple as that. It doesn't it doesn't go through any other channel at any central entity ama place where it is now summed up ndo sasa itumwe kwa huyo mse. Hapana. Once it leaves your wallet, it goes directly to that individual's wallet. It's that simple. Right? Yeah, so I have come to the end of my live. If there are any questions, please do feel free to ask. You can also reach me through my contacts, which is 0728 138 299. You can WhatsApp me through that, and I can be able now to guide you through on how you can get started with RainBNB. But if you're also okay with doing it by yourself, you can watch, I've pinned a tutorial video on how you can do it step by step and easily activate your own participation into RainBNB. So please do not forget to invite, share this live as always. People need to hear about this. This is a campaign to empower people and educate them so that they understand and know exactly how Bitcoin and blockchain works and how this platform or this initiative is meant to build the community and not individuals. Sawa. So I will really appreciate those who will be able to stand with this campaign and support us. I will leave details of after this video, which I will also save and upload, and I will leave the details in the description box on how you can participate in the community building CHAMA or campaign, either through your donations, sponsorships, investments, because I'm also looking for investors, and we can invest or rather partners who can partner with me in many ways to be able to push this campaign even further. Sawa. So I will be seeing you guys in the next live. Thank you so much.